Imagine a world where you can destroy your enemies without violence, without cruelty, and even without anger. You simply exist in harmony, and those who were once your enemies disappear on their own. This isn't a fantasy, it's wisdom passed down through centuries in the teachings of the Buddha. Today we will share with you 7 Buddhist ways to defeat your enemies without engaging in battle. These methods will help you overcome negativity and find the path to inner peace, even when surrounded by ill-wishers. Sounds incredible? Then stay tuned, and you'll discover the secrets that can change your life. In Buddhism, the concept of an enemy is not what we commonly understand. The Buddha taught that every enemy is actually a teacher, reflecting our own weaknesses. Thus, the first step to defeating an enemy is changing your perception. The first Buddhist way to destroy your enemy is through compassion. When we see someone who causes us harm, it's important to recognize that their actions stem from their own suffering. For example, if someone constantly criticizes you, behind that criticism may lie deep dissatisfaction. By practicing compassion, you shift your attitude toward the situation, turning your enemy into an object of understanding rather than hatred. Example: a monk lived in a village where he was repeatedly harassed by an angry neighbor. Instead of responding to the hostility, the monk thanked his neighbor and prayed for his well-being each time he was insulted. Years later, the neighbor's attitude changed, and he became the monk's friend. This story shows the power of compassion in Buddhist practice. The second way is forgiveness. Forgiveness is liberation, first and foremost for yourself. When you forgive your enemy, you free yourself from the anger and resentment that can destroy your inner peace. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a strength that lifts you above any situation. Example: in one story, the Buddha spoke of a king who pardoned a prisoner who held a grudge against him. This act of forgiveness not only saved the king's soul, but also healed the heart of the prisoner, who no longer saw the king as an enemy. The third way is humility. The Buddha taught that the ego is the source of much suffering. When you set aside your ego and embrace humility, your enemies lose their power over you. You stop taking their actions as personal attacks, which frees you from conflict. Example: imagine a person who is always trying to prove they are right. They spend their energy fighting but never find inner peace. When they stop trying to assert their importance and accept things as they are, they achieve true freedom. In that moment, their enemies lose their hold over them. The fourth way is meditation. The practice of meditation helps you release negative emotions that fuel conflict with your enemies. When you enter a state of meditation, your mind calms and you stop reacting to provocations. Example: a disciple of the Buddha was surrounded by envious people who tried to lead him astray. But every time negative thoughts began to creep in, he retreated into meditation and returned to peace. Over time, his adversaries disappeared from his life, and he remained at peace with himself. The fifth way is mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to be present in the here and now, without dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When you become mindful, your enemy's actions lose significance because you live in the present, not in their negativity. Example: a Buddhist monk once faced the jealousy of his peers. But by remaining mindful, he didn't allow their jealousy to penetrate his heart. He focused on his path and continued to grow spiritually, while his enemies faded away, seeing his unshakable composure. The sixth way is nonviolence. The Buddha taught that violence only begets more violence. If you respond to evil with goodness, you break this cycle and create peace around you. Example: once, conspirators attempted to kill the Buddha, but he did not resist them, responding only with a gentle smile. The conspirators, seeing his nonviolence and serenity, repented and abandoned their plans. The seventh way is love. Love is the most powerful force that can destroy an enemy without harming them. When you send love to your enemy, it breaks down all the walls they've built around themselves and opens a path to understanding. Example, the story of the Buddha and the bandit Angulimala demonstrates how love can transform even the most hardened enemies. Angulimala was known for his cruelty, but when he encountered the Buddha and saw his unconditional love, his heart changed and he became a disciple. Each of these methods works on both a spiritual and practical level. You can use them in everyday life to neutralize conflict situations and create an atmosphere of peace and harmony around you. When you stop seeing the world as a battlefield and start perceiving your enemies as teachers, your life changes. These Buddhist ways do not require physical strength, but they demand strength of spirit. And every time you choose compassion, forgiveness, humility, meditation, mindfulness, nonviolence, or love, you not only destroy your enemy but elevate yourself. It's essential to remember that these methods are not merely tactics for victory. They are a path to a higher state of being where conflict has no place. And each of us can choose peace and harmony, starting within ourselves. Try applying even one of these methods in your life today, and you'll see how your perception of the world and the people around you changes. Subscribe to our channel if you want to learn more about how Buddhist teachings can transform your life. Give this video a like if it helped you see relationships in a new light. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your experiences and thoughts. We value your opinion.